In 2016, when Samsung launched the Samsung Galaxy S7 for around $670, they made me realize that I was poor. But now, in 2021, when Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G costs around $1,200, I feel like I'm broke. Hey, what's up everybody? So the thing is, I'm not broke, I know that for sure. And if you feel like you're broke as well, especially when you're watching the launch videos of the new iPhone or the new MacBook Pro or the new XPS or the Samsung phone or a smartwatch, the thing is, you're not broke as well. These gadgets have become a lot more expensive nowadays, and people usually associate it with two reasons. The number one is, the currency inflation. And number two is the sticker shock. The sticker shock is the phenomena like, in the past we used to have these 2-year contracts where the telecom providers like T-Mobile or AT&T, they used to provide you with the smartphones for like $200, and then they would charge you monthly payments for the mobile cost as well as the services that you're using, like your messages, calls, and data. And there was this impression that you're just paying less, when in fact you were paying a lot more. Ever since those contracts ended, now we are just paying for the original price of the phone, and that's why it seems like, the phones have become expensive. Well, that's not the whole story. It is true to some extent, but there are quite a few reasons other than these two reasons as well. The number one is the R&D, research and development. And I'm talking about two major aspects of R&D. Number one is the hardware materials or the components that are involved in a smartphone. So nowadays, because we're using so many smart devices, almost every device requires a processor, a RAM, some require a camera, and there can only be so many lenses and processors and RAMs in the world. So basically, since these smart chipsets are in demand, their supply is limited and their prices have gone up. And not only these components, the earth elements that were actually required to build these components have become more rare, and that's why they've become more expensive as well. And it's a basic rule of economics. If the demand is higher than the supply, the price goes up. The second aspect of research and development is actually the development cost, because nowadays every company is just trying to get more advanced and advanced with every phone, and they're just trying to build a better phone every year, and all of that comes at a cost. Just to give you an estimate, during the fiscal year 2020, Apple spent almost $18.75 billion on research and development. That's a billion with a B. And so all of that cost, who has to pay for it? The customers, right? That's the rule of business. So that's a really big reason why all of these devices have become a lot expensive. The second reason is reduced demand. Now, you wouldn't believe it, but if you go to google.com right now, no, not right now, after the video, you will find out that people have started to retain their phones for a longer period of time. Like in the past, people used to switch their phones quickly, but now people are just aware of the fact that almost all of the phones have the same features, the same specs pretty much, so they are not like that much worthy to upgrade. And secondly, in the past, there were a lot of people who didn't have smartphones, but now almost 95% of the people in the world, they have smartphones, right? And so that has just reduced the market of new phones. So now companies have two choices. Number one is sell more phones, or number two, sell more expensive phones. And since the market is pretty much saturated by now, they cannot really sell more phones. So the choice that they're left with is selling more expensive phones. And that's another reason why companies have increased the prices of their smartphones, and they have launched their Pro phones, which are nothing but a more expensive version of their basic phone. The third reason is branding. I have said that quite a lot of times. I've said that in my Apple cloth video as well. I'll put the link over there. It's quite a fun video to watch. We are now just a sucker to the brand. Brands, they spend a lot of money on branding, on marketing, making their product seem cool to us. We have become so blind to these brands that a Samsung fanboy will just buy everything that Samsung will launch, and an Apple fanboy will just buy everything that Apple will launch. This has just given these companies the strength or the power to actually launch anything at a ridiculous price tag, like a $6,000 device, because they know people will buy it. And so these are some of the reasons that just force these big brands to make more and more expensive devices. But that begs the question, who is forcing us to buy these devices? Anyway, all right, so that was all for today. I hope that you liked the video. If you liked it, don't forget to give a thumbs up and hit subscribe to stay tuned for more. And by the way, just take this video as a signal of how much stupid we are when it comes to brands. All right, I'll see you next week.